Thank you for joining me for another trip report from Pure Cali Aviation. Today's trip report is on Singapore Airlines SQ21 from Newark to Singapore. Newark Airport is well known for its convenient location, being preferred by a lower Manhattan residents or business passengers. However, the airport itself is not that flashy. There's no large waiting halls or any flashy duty-free shops that you might find in other bigger international terminals. Despite its somewhat rudimentary appearance of the terminal, being an international airport, it does feature two airline lounges, one that's run by British Airways and other by Virgin Atlantic. Singapore Airlines uses Virgin Atlantic Lounge or Clubhouse in this airport. Virgin Atlantic Clubhouse has quite a flashy entrance with a fairly modern interior, but on closer inspection, you can see that all the chairs and shower rooms are actually quite worn out. There are no self-serving buffet area. This is despite being pre-COVID. All the food must be ordered via the server and they'll deliver the food to you. The quality of food itself was not too bad. Morning. With not so interesting lounge with no view to the airport tarmac, I have headed to the aircraft to board as soon as possible. Boarding was smooth and there weren't that many passengers, being an all-premium configuration on this Airbus A350-900 ULR.
Thank you. Hi. Sit up across center left, please. Thank you.
This aircraft features one of the latest generations of Singapore Airlines business class. It is slightly behind the one that's featured on Airbus 380. However, the seat itself is much wider and roomier. It has plenty of storage to the side of the screen. There's two storage there. And also underneath the seat, mainly for shoes or bags. And there's a further storage on the side next to where the remote controls are. Screen can be only tilted upwards and downwards. Because the screens are laminated, it does suffer from quite a bit of bad reflection. You can see that footwall design narrows down towards the feet. This means that you kind of have to sleep in diagonal position. See that it features a touchscreen controller where you can display things like flight maps, and there are a variety of interfaces including HDMI, which I'll show you later. There's a headphone port on this side of the seat, but there's another headphone port on the other side, so you can choose what works best for you. These are main seat controls, and there are a abridged seating controls and a lighting control on the left upper side of the seat. Unsurprisingly, crews were ready to depart in no time and we started pushing back.
Welcome aboard Singapore Airlines. As the safety equipment of this aircraft may differ from that on other aircraft, please give us your attention as we bring you through this important safety briefing and on a journey. To unfasten, lift the metal flap. We recommend keeping your seat belt fastened throughout the flight. Whenever the seat belt sign is turned on, infants should be lifted from the bassinet and secured with an infant seat belt. If there is a change in
The weather was quite nice and sunny, but there was a bit of a haze up in the air, so it wasn't the stark blue sky that you expect. But you could still see the outline of the Manhattan skyline from this distance.
Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts and draw up your window shades. Thank you.
I'll let you enjoy the takeoff and the amazing engine sound of Trent XWB. Soon after the takeoff, we made a steep 180-degree turn, heading towards the mid-upper Manhattan. We had a very good view of the Manhattan skyline again, as well as the Central Park. But soon after that, the land was covered by cloud and we couldn't see very much of the land at all for quite some time. The Airbus A350ULR has a missing center overhead bin in the business class section. This helps create a very spacious feeling with a high ceiling area. It's somewhat reminiscent of DC-10 era cabin design. Not long after takeoff, the lunch service started. It started with salad and then main and then was finished with dessert. This was a salad with a prosciutto and then choice of bread that you could choose from the big basket of bread. For the main meal, I had a prawn dish with, I think it was a southern style spice, and also a potato latte or potato pancake type dish. Whilst the taste itself was quite nice, it was very salty. In fact, most meals on this flight was on the salty side. One important thing to note that I didn't realize when I booked this flight is that you do not have to book the cook on this flight, and this is before pandemic. The book the cook seems to be only available on the flight that's departing from JFK. Like most other business class controllers, it features the small monitor for showing flight progress and controlling a variety of equipment on your seat. It can also work as a touchpad for whatever application you're using. It's also possible to use your device by connecting it to HDMI. The way you activate HDMI is through the menu under the settings page. It works quite well. The only gripe, as I mentioned prior, is that the screen's not laminated, so it is a little bit hard to work if you want to work with the Windows shade open. Nothing particularly interesting in bathroom. It was clean, but there was no decorations like, for example, a flower. Just showing you the seat here, it's actually quite wide. It has a feeling of the lounge chair. Now to turn it into the bed, you have to fold it down using this little lever at the back, but it wasn't quite straightforward and I have to ask for the help. Whilst a lot of people complain about this type of seat where you have to fall down, the one advantage of this method is that you don't get little crevices that you get with a convertible seat type bed. Although a lot of airlines provide a mattress cover to get around this issue. And in fact, the newer business class seat on the Airbus 380 is a type where the seat turns into the bed. I had no problem with the bed itself. It was quite spacious and long enough, but you do kind of need to sleep diagonally. Just showing off some snacks that I had during mid-flight. It was a ham sandwich, nothing particularly amazing, Singapore sling. And I had a chance to have a quick look at outside, and we're flying by some sort of a European city. It might be like somewhere in Belgium on that land. After a decent sleep, it was time for, I guess, breakfast/lunch. The watermelon salad was quite nice, not too salty this time, but again, this steak was fairly salty. It was a real shame because the steak itself was really well cooked. Before I know it, 17 hours or 16 hours went by and we're nearing Singapore. And as we approached Singapore, I was greeted by these amazing looking clouds. Unfortunately, we didn't have to fly through any of them and suffer a severe turbulence. And before you know it, we could see the sea and we're making our final approach to Changi Airport. So what do I think of Singapore Airlines' world's longest flight? It was amazing. Only shameful thing was that food was quite a bit salty, but I do wonder if the catering kitchen in Newark is not of the same quality as JFK, given that they don't offer book-to-cook service as well. But the staff were very friendly, they're always available, and they were very happy to serve you. Only other comment I would make is it would be quite nice to have some sort of a lounge area like that on Virgin Atlantic Airbus 350, because it does get a bit boring sitting in the same seat for 16-17 hours. But that's not to say the seat itself was uncomfortable, it's just I wanted some variety during that time. Here I am saying thank you to this Airbus 350 for taking me from all the way halfway across the world. So thank you for watching my video again of this Singapore Airlines New York to Singapore. I'm intending to take the flight the other way around, but to JFK in coming months. So please subscribe and please like this video for more videos. Thank you very much again for watching my video.